Right now, someone in your life is playing a psychological game you don't even know you're part of. They're using tactics so subtle, so carefully designed, that you think every move you make is your own choice. But what if I told you that your emotions, your decisions, even your self-doubt might be orchestrated by someone who studied you like a textbook? Jessica thought her boyfriend David was just moody. Some days he'd shower her with affection, other days he'd become cold and distant for no apparent reason. She spent months trying to figure out what she was doing wrong, walking on eggshells, constantly adjusting her behavior to bring back the warm version of David. What Jessica didn't realize was that David was using the emotional thermostat technique, deliberately creating emotional highs and lows to keep her addicted to his approval. This is Machiavellian tactic number 1, emotional temperature control. They study your emotional patterns, then become unpredictably hot and cold to create an addiction cycle in your brain. You become so focused on getting back to the high that you'll do anything to avoid the low. Marcus noticed his manager Sarah had a peculiar habit. During team meetings, she'd suddenly become vulnerable, sharing personal struggles or admitting to small mistakes. Everyone would rally around her, offer support, share their own vulnerabilities in return. But Marcus realized Sarah only did this when she needed something: budget approval, overtime work, or covering for her actual mistakes. This is tactic number 2, strategic vulnerability. Machiavellians weaponize honesty and vulnerability to disarm your psychological defenses. When someone shows weakness, your brain automatically categorizes them as non-threatening and trustworthy. They exploit this hardwired response to extract information, loyalty, and compliance from you. Have you ever noticed how certain people seem to know everything about your life, but you realize you know almost nothing about theirs? They ask thoughtful questions, remember details about your struggles, always seem genuinely interested in your problems. Meanwhile, conversations about their life are mysteriously brief or always interrupted. This is tactic number 3, the information diet. They feast on data about you while keeping you starved of information about them. Knowledge is power, and they're creating a dangerous imbalance. The more they know about your fears, desires, and triggers, the more precisely they can manipulate you. The less you know about them, the harder it becomes to see their manipulation coming. Rachel couldn't understand why her friend Emma's advice always felt so compelling. Emma would say things like, "My therapist says people who do that are usually insecure," or "I read in this psychology book that your behavior means you have abandonment issues." Rachel found herself constantly second-guessing her instincts and following Emma's guidance instead. This is tactic number 4, borrowed authority. Machiavellians rarely give you their personal opinion. That would make them accountable. Instead, they channel invisible experts, studies, or authority figures to deliver their manipulation. Your brain treats borrowed authority as more credible than personal opinion, making you more likely to comply without questioning. Tom always felt guilty saying no to his coworker Jake. Jake had helped him move apartments, covered his shift when he was sick, remembered his birthday when others forgot. But Tom started noticing a pattern. Jake's help always came right before Jake needed something big in return. This is tactic number 5, the obligation factory. Machiavellians strategically create debt in your mind by doing unrequested favors, then cash in that psychological debt when they need compliance. They're not being kind, they're making deposits in your guilt account to withdraw from later. Lisa felt like her sister Katie knew her better than anyone. Katie would bring up specific moments from their childhood, remind Lisa of past mistakes or embarrassing memories, then use those moments to explain Lisa's current behavior. "You've always been sensitive about this because of what happened in high school," Katie would say. This is tactic number 6, emotional archaeology. They dig up your past emotional wounds and use them as evidence for why you can't trust your current feelings or judgments. By constantly referencing your history, they make you doubt your present reality and defer to their interpretation of your emotions. The most dangerous tactic is the exit mirage. Alex kept telling himself he could leave his toxic job anytime. His boss Michael would hint at promotions coming soon, mention how valuable Alex was to the team, occasionally give him small perks or flexible days. These breadcrumbs created the illusion that things were improving, that leaving would mean giving up right before the breakthrough. This is tactic number 7, the exit mirage. Machiavellians sense when you're planning to leave a relationship, job, or situation, and they strategically dangle hope to keep you trapped. They give you just enough improvement to make leaving feel premature, but never enough to actually fix the fundamental problems. So how do you protect yourself from these tactics? First, start tracking patterns instead of isolated incidents. Machiavellians rely on you focusing on individual moments rather than seeing the larger manipulation system. Keep a simple note in your phone about how interactions make you feel over time. Second, notice information imbalances in your relationships. Healthy relationships have reciprocal vulnerability and transparency. If someone knows significantly more about your life than you know about theirs, that's a red flag. Third, trust your emotional reactions even when you can't explain them logically. Machiavellians are skilled at making their manipulation seem reasonable, but your subconscious often detects the manipulation before your conscious mind does. If you consistently feel drained, confused, or off balance around someone, pay attention to that signal. Finally, remember that awareness is your strongest defense. These tactics only work when they remain invisible. The moment you can name what's happening, the manipulation loses much of its power over you. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you understand the dark patterns around you, hit the like button and subscribe for more psychology insights every week. Share this with someone who needs to see it. Stay aware, stay protected.